Hey Stitchers, Olivia B here, back with a video. It's been a few months. Um, I just, my hair's wet. It's looking a little darker today. And I've got this quilt, back of a quilt behind me just to cover the TV that sits here. I'm across from the window so you can see the kind of light. Just trying to make it work in here. So I hope you're all doing well. I am doing okay. I'm, living in the same world as everyone else. So, but things are good, healthy, and my family's healthy. So happy about that. And I really, really hope you all are doing well and are healthy as well. I am here to talk about my cross stitch. I thought I would start out by showing you some things that I have FFO'd since my last video, so fully finished. And then I will show you a few pieces that I have finished stitching since the last video, and then I'm basically going to be showing you a WIP parade because I've worked on all my WIPs since I last saw you. I think at least a little bit on all of them. So yeah, we'll do a little WIP parade. So let's get right into the FFOs. So actually, nope, see, wrong already. I want to show you one gift. My friend Maddie, who's Happy Go Stitchy on Instagram, she made me this beautiful strawberry. I call it my friendship strawberry. She moved back home to Missouri. She was living here in Berkeley. That's how we met, and we miss her already, but thanks to COVID, it kind of feels like I can actually pretend she's still here, right? But yeah, I look forward to visiting her one day. And but yeah, she made this beautiful strawberry before she left. She actually gave this to me before my last video, but she hadn't really announced that she was leaving yet, so I didn't show it then. But I like to just hold it like an ice cream cone sometimes when I miss her. So thanks, Maddie. Okay, now my FFOs. First up, this is the Primitive Merry Christmas Pillow, something like that, by Abby Rose Designs. My friend Lorraine from Rags to Stitches USA gifted me the chart and the ribbon and the bell. Thank you so much, Lorraine. She stitched this as well, and I loved her finish of it. She had hers hanging on a little like ornament stand. I think I'm gonna get one of those for next year, but this year I just had this up above the fireplace that we don't use. And I love it. What did I do? I kind of shaped the ribbon the way I wanted it and hand sewed it with a thread that matched. So if the thread matches, you can get away with the weirdest sewing because no one will really see it. That's the back. And jingles. This is actually wool applique, not stitching, but I finished it. This is a buttermilk basin piece. My friend Michelle Hudson of Sacramento, California. She's Piece and Stitches on Instagram. She is a friend of mine, and she gifted me this pattern, and I had a lot of fun making it. I think I showed the finish in my last video. But I just took a piece of like wool felt and blanket stitched it around the edges to the back, and then I left a little bit open here on the sides and put some jute through there, and now I can hang it for next Halloween. So I like how that turned out. This is a Threadwork Primitives. I think it's Enchanted Crow. I just FFO'd it into a pin cushion. Just took some scraps of fabric and put some X's around it. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but it's stitched back here. And yeah, that's got sawdust in it. I like how that turned out. That I stitched that on a little piece of Grandpa's sleeve from XG Design, which just kind of turned out perfect. Love that. A Murder of Crows by Lottie Da. I'd finished it a while ago. I actually made the pin cushions a while ago, or sewed them, but I couldn't find trim I wanted, so I finally used Ivana's tutorial on making the cabling with DMC, and I stitched them. I just put around the edges, and I love how these guys turned out. I have to figure out what I'm going to display them in, and those are full of sawdust too. So yeah, Murder of Crows. Love those guys. This was actually something my sister stitched for me, my sister Elena, and now I can't remember the name of it. I had actually bought the chart, and it was around the time when I was starting 31 Halloween pieces, and she said that she would take this and stitch it for me, so I had at least one finish. And she did, and that was like 2 years ago, and I finally figured out how I wanted to FFO it. This is like a mat board that I wrapped in fabric, and I took another one, kind of Vana style, and did the same thing and put them together. I just took some pins and stuck this jute in there. This is on mat board too with some batting, and then I had some black jute that I put around the trim, and I like how it turned out. I have a few things that are like hangings, but they're kind of the size like too big for a pin pillow. Didn't want to go to the trouble of framing, but I want to hang them. So I've got a few things like that, and that is an example of one of them. This one I think I may have showed last time, but I made cabling for it. I couldn't find some trim. This is You and I Designs from Betty Ulan gifted me this chart, and yeah, I made cabling. I don't know how to really end the cabling. Just kind of sewed it together and made do. It works. This one I had finished a while back, and I finally figured out how I wanted to FFO it. This is Jiggity Jig by Pineberry Lane. So, you know, when you make a wall hanging, like it kind of looks maybe like a little quilt with I did like the binding on the front like I would a quilt, but I didn't want it to turn in on itself. So what I did was I took a piece of fabric, a mat board. I put batting on the mat board, and then what did I do? I put batting on the mat board with glue. I've got a light interfacing on the back of the stitching. I laid that down on it. I took the fabric and wrapped it around the mat board and then around the front, and then I kind of binding stitched it. Which is a little tricky because it's hard, so it's not as easy as like a quilt binding, but with a little patience. Since it's primitive finish, it doesn't need to look perfect. So I have another piece I'll show you a little later that I did like this. And then I just took some rusty safety pins and some jute, and yeah, I'll be hanging for next Halloween. This one was a finish I showed you last time, I think. Is it Jack's House Pin Keep? I changed the background fabric to a blue, and I think I changed one color of the thread. I can't remember which one it was now. I wanted like something more in the FFO for this, so I have this beautiful piece of orange wool I think I got it from Fiddlesticks Designs on Etsy. I almost wish more of it showed. But I stitched, what did I do? I stitched the piece, I folded the edges under and then stitched the piece to the wool. And then I wrapped the wool around some mat board. I can show you the back actually. Right here, I used like a double-sided tape to adhere the wool to the mat board, and then stuck it in the frame. I need to put some kind of backing on this. This is frame I actually found for $3 at Goodwill, and it's wood, and I love it. It's very cute, and I've been waiting for the right thing to put in it. I don't have any hanging hardware in the back at the moment, so I don't know if I'm going to be propping this up on something or adding that. But this was a recent FFO, and I like how it turned out. I posted this on Instagram, which reminds me that I just want to say thank you so much to everyone on Instagram who puts nice comments. I never really know how to thank people on Instagram, but I just want to say thank you, because I really feel the uplifting on when we share our pieces and say nice things to each other, and it's always very nice, and I really do appreciate it. I just want to let you guys know that. I don't have better words than that to say it, but thank you. And then this last one is Tombstone Angel by Kathy Barrick. I stitched this on 40 count, and it fit perfectly in an 8x10 frame, so heads up if you're stitching this. This is this was in the 2011 cross stitch Halloween edition. Also, since I said I stitched it on 40 count and fit in an 8x10 frame, but I imagine that means no matter what count you stitch it on, it'll have the same ratio, so you would just have a slightly wider fabric if you stitched it. I guess it'd have to be 40 count. And maybe 36 would fit in here, but it looks like it'd be pretty tight. Anyway, I had this frame already. I think I bought it at a big box craft store. I used to have a way we were riding this, but it doesn't have the right like ratio for this frame, so I ended up buying a custom frame eventually. But yeah, I love how this turned out. I converted these colors, and I mentioned that conversion in my last video. So those are my fully finished objects, except for one more that will be in my finishes, which is right now. Look how that worked out. This was a new piece that I started since I last saw you. This is Home Place at Christmas from Not Forgotten Farm. I stitched this as a sal with my friends Michelle and Maddie that I mentioned, and our friend Angela, who is 737 Stitcher on Instagram. We started this together, and I finished mine, and then I FFO'd it into a wall hanging. This is like some, I think it's tea-dyed ticking that I got on Etsy a while back. I made a bunch of mistakes when I was stitching this. I'm not going to point them out, but if you're like comparing yours, know that the mistakes are mine, not yours. But I love how it turned out. I changed a few things here and there, not hugely. I stitched this in Just Rust from Classic Colorworks. But I love this pattern. I think it's adorable, and it ended up being fun to stitch, even if I made mistakes. Don't care. So same thing, there's a mat board in here, and this one I went with a slightly larger border, so I wrapped the fabric around, folded it under, and then stitched it around. So if I was trying to do like a really neat finish, I wouldn't use this method, but for like primitive finishing, I like it. And then again, little rusty safety pins and some jute to hang it. So that was a start and a finish. And then I finished 3 other pieces since I last saw you. First up is Garden of Erie by Plum Street Samplers. I changed a little bit with colors, like I know that's mulberry and the red at the bottom, and then tiger lily. I stitched this on Murky, 40 count Murky and Picture This Plus, which is a fabric I love, and I thought it'd be fun to do this project on it. By the time I finished though, I did wish that I had stitched it on maybe a lighter color. I think a little bit gets lost. It's a little dark and a little busy, but I still love it. I think I'll frame this. I haven't fully decided yet. So that's Garden of Erie. And then my other finish was another Halloween Plum Street Samplers stitch, and that's Jack's Bash. This was the final project for my 10 and 20 in 2020, so I was pretty proud to accomplish that goal. And yeah, I love the colors in this one. I think it's adorable. I stitched it in the called for. This is a 40 count Extra Designs fabric, and I will definitely frame this one, or probably have it framed. That would be even better. My last video showed a lot of finishes, and at the end of the year I really tried to FFO as much as possible, like all the stuff that I wasn't going to frame, but I have quite a few things I want framed. But throughout 2020 I put money aside for eventual framing, so hopefully you'll be seeing some frame pieces this year. And then this is one I've been working on for a couple years. This is the Country House Sampler from Brenda Keyes Sampler Company. And I finally finished it. I stitched this one 1/1 on 25 count. I love how it looks. I love how the 1/1 looks, but it's always hard on me when I'm stitching it. I don't know what it is. It's not hard to stitch. I just don't enjoy the process as much as stitching over 2. I think maybe it has to do with starting and ending my threads. I tend to do the, run the thread under a few stitches, and it's just harder when it's 1/1 like this. But, I got it. I did it, and I love it. I changed the red in the border, and now I'm forgetting what color, but if you see there's like this bright red in these flowers here, that's the called for red. I just wanted something a little less bright. What did I stitch it with? Maybe it was Buckeye Scarlet? I can't remember. Anyway, if if you need to know, please just, leave a comment and I'll look it up. I was inspired by Carol Saltbox Stitcher, who stitched the Red House sampler from Brenda Keys, and she changed the red in her border. And I was like, that is a very good idea, because it was just a little off for me. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this one. So that's it for my finishes. Speeding right along. Okay, next up I'm going to show you my WIPs. So this is my official WIP parade. I have 8 WIPs at the moment. Okay, so this first one is a beast. I have been working on this since 2016. I started this in a stitch along. I started this with Emily C., Sarah Shears, and Tracy P. It seems like a million years ago. This is the Big Red Ship of Life. Seen here is a big black ship because this is my working copy. Years ago when I bought it, I actually bought it on Stash and Load, the pattern, and it was like, it's like the smokiest thing ever. It's still sitting somewhere because I'm still stitching it, but that'll go in the garbage when I'm the recycling bin when I'm done. Anyway, this is the pattern. This is probably one of my favorite cross stitch designs. I think it is the coolest thing. I know Ink Circles has come out with the moderately sized Ship of Life, I believe it is called, and I would love to stitch that one day too. A lot of people, I remember when starting this, a lot of people had already started it or were starting it, and some people have since finished it, and it's beautiful. Since I started it in 2016, I started it in I stitched different materials back then. I stitched a different count, different amount of, more strands, etc., as we do. I wish I'm not as comfortable stitching it now as I was then. I have different methods now that I'm more comfortable with. So I have to change, make that shift when I go back to stitch on it. But I will not be giving up on this project because I want this hanging in my dining room so bad one day. Okay, so I told you I started it 2016. This year, I am really hoping to focus on this project and get really good progress on it. Of course, I would love to finish it this year, but that's like a bold claim. I really believe in like stitching on what gives you pleasure. So if I get to a point where this is not giving me pleasure and I just get tired of it, then I will put it aside, no matter how much progress I have on it. But I do hope to make good progress on it this year. I didn't work on it last year. It was a conscious decision of just needing to put a couple of my WIPs aside to focus on the others. But anyway, without further ado, this is Big Red Ship of Life. I started the year out at just about the halfway point. I had a little more to do right here on page 8, and I finished that page, and I now went down to page 12. So I'm working on that right now. You can see kind of where this is near the bottom of the page, and this is the side of the page. I am stitching this mainly in 498 from DMC. It's the red. Tracy Horner's mom stitched this, and she did the waves in blue and the sails in gold, and I am copying her. I can look up the colors I'm using. Hold on. I love this project bag, this fabric. Isn't that cool? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm better prepared. I am stitching in 498, the blue is 820, and the gold is 783. And I am stitching this on 32 count, Charles Craft, cream linen, 2/2, and it's gonna be huge, which is what I wanted. I wanted a wall hanging. You should see, look up Allie's Stitching Studio. She has finished this and she made it into a wall hanging, and it's beautiful. But since then, I have these nightmares of like people like spilling wine on it or whatever happens in the dining room. Like, I don't know how that would happen. I've never seen someone get wine on the wall, but I don't know. If by the time I finish this, it could end up being something that I spent a ton of money to frame. But anyway, there it is in all its glory, and I hope that by the next video I have made good progress, but I could quite possibly be in the same spot. I do enjoy working on it. It's just that I'm like, for some reason when I'm working on it, I'm thinking of other things. I think that's like when it comes to really big projects like this, I do have a hard time sticking with it. I'm gonna be honest, but this is the one that I will complete because thank goodness I've gotten that far. And that is my, that's what I'm working on at the moment. All right, next up, at around, I think it was at Christmas time, this was just kind of a spur of the moment start. I went to a Primitive Traditions retreat at the Attic a couple years ago in November of 2018. It was wonderful, and Blackbird Designs was one of the designers there, and they gave us 4 projects, and they're all in the, they've all since been published in the, I think it's Bells on Christmas Day booklet. And the way it worked was there's like 2 packages. One was one of the projects. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a thimble bag. And then there's 3 other ones that all go on the same piece of fabric. It's Unbroken Song, which goes in this box, and we painted that box, and I have it ready. Wild and Sweet, which is a needle book, and Singing on Its Way, which is a little pin pillow. And so I've had the full kit from that retreat sitting there, and I was like, I need to just start it. So there's a floss card and piece of fabric, Oaken 36 count, that 3 of them go on, so I just started all 3 of them on the same fabric. There we go. And I finished the Unbroken Song, so I'm going to cut that out and lace it on a piece of mat board and put it in the base of that box. Hopefully I'll show it to you in the next video. This is the start for the pin pillow and the needle book. So it's all on the same thread and same fabric, so I'm just kind of working on all of them at the same time. So I'm just counting that as 1 WIP. Kind of just have 1 project bag for Blackbird Designs right now. Yeah. Okay, it's my goat load bag. Oh, this one I'm so excited about. Okay, so you'll see this in my haul too, but let's talk about exemplars from the Heart/Exemplar Dames. This is Vilma Becklin is the designer, and she has just this funky, different style that I love, and I basically collect her charts. I know, like, that's probably like a controversial thing, the idea of collecting charts. When I buy her charts, it's because I want to stitch them one day, right? But a lot of them are big. This is a big project. There's a lot of stitching in them. And I buy them and I'm excited about them, and then I get a little intimidated when I think of stitching them, like starting them, because they're big projects. I have a few that are just like bucket list that I really want to stitch, and again, I get intimidated. So when 3 of my Stitcher wife friends, Emily C., Megan from Stitch in May, and Ellen Reed, decided they were going to do a SAL for this chart, I butted my way in and joined them. I pulled the DMC, but I am converting the colors. It's not the easiest chart to see on this photo. And I've never seen it stitched, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. So I'm kind of picking colors that I love, not super far off, but from what this is, but I don't know, maybe someday I'll show you what the actual like pulled colors are, so you can compare it to this picture, because I can't really do it justice. But anyways, this is called When the Calling Birds Sing, by Exemplars from the Heart. It's out of print. This designer's patterns are out of print. A lot of these funky ones, though, I found are not like in super high demand. I've never paid more than retail price for her designs. So it depends on your taste. I would recommend looking at Reflections, Julie McConnell's shop, because Megan pointed out to me that this was for sale there. So I don't know if she still has it in stock. There's a good chance she does. And once Megan told me that, I went to look at Julie's site, and sure enough, some of my unicorns were just sitting there at Reflections waiting for me. And I'll show you those in my haul. So, but yeah, I love this, and I'm so glad those ladies started it, because I was like, there's no way I cannot start it with them. Like, normally I'll pass on sales if I'm just, you know, because I'll tell myself, look, it's just FOMO. You know, you've done it in the past. I've done it in the past. I've started things I wasn't planning on starting just to be in a sale. But this one, I was like, I've never seen it stitched, and I'm so excited to see it come together that I'm starting it too. And I'm so glad I did, because I love those ladies, and it's great being in a sale with them. So, enough chit chat. Here's my start. Some interesting flowers all through the border. I changed out the colors for overdyes. They're not exact matches to the DMC, but I went with colors I liked. There's like little green stems. Those are the actual DMC it called for. And then, oh, let me just pull out my threads, sorry. These are threads I have chosen so far. So I am stitching the border in Sweetest Heart from Classic Colorworks and Briar Rose from Gentle Arts. And then the border color, this was my third, I tried 3 different colors, and in the end I settled with Bramble Bush. In the pattern, though, it's hard to see, these flowers are striped. I tried that, and I didn't really like the look, and so I was like, it's definitely not worth the trouble. It's way easier to just do alternating colored flowers. And the border is filled in. I have not decided yet if I'm going to do that. I'd like to give it a shot, so I will probably try it and then see if I like it. The alphabet is done in a Threadworks color. This one, it's really pretty. And then I have started one of the buildings. So again, lots of stitching to go. This will be a long-term project, but I love it. This is 40 count platinum fabric from Zweigart. So thank you, ladies, for encouraging me to start that. Excuse me. I'll put this away. All right, up next, my witchy bag. What was in here? Oh yeah. This is Rampant Cat Sampler from Barbara Anna Designs. I'm sure you've seen this one before. I love this design. I am stitching it on a purple fabric, which at the time seemed perfect. Now I don't know. Now I kind of wish I had started on something more neutral, but I'm okay with it. This is Antique Violet from Extra Designs. It's a little more purpley than you're seeing it. But this is my progress. I stitched on this during dark October, and it's coming along. Yeah, probably a little more than halfway. Yeah, it's a cute one. It's such a cute design. Oh, I'm stitching that. Hold on, this is a fancy way of storing thread. In the called for DNC mostly. I think this is one of my dark October starts a couple years ago, where I made some, I don't know, past Olivia is super annoying. I made some like conversions, but it's not like I kept the thread with it, and I just did a lot of annoying things during that time. I will not be doing something crazy like that again, I don't think. It was fun in the moment, but again, past Olivia gets on my nerves. Okay, I am down. By the way, I started 31 things that month. I have had some give ups. I only had like a day in, and I had again done some foolish things, and so I gave up on them. And there'll be restarts one day. And then I had a lot of finishes over time, and so I'm down to 2 projects, and this is the other one. You know it, you love it. Jenny Bean's Halloween Sampler by Shakespeare Peddler. I love this one, it's so cute. I'm stitching this on 40 count Lakeside Linen and River Willow. And here's where I am on that. I worked on this in dark October as well. I've been enjoying that. So, yeah. Okay. this one. I love them all. I want to stitch in them all at all times. This is Luz Gonzalez. This chart was gifted to me by the lovely Laura Duet. I think, oh, they'll have a new video tomorrow. That's exciting. This is Luz Gonzalez. Isn't she beautiful? I'm stitching her in the called for silks, the Veriswa, you know it. I'm stitching it on Light Exemplar from Lakeside Linens, and I've been working on the big rose. There we go. I can't wait to get back to this. Yeah, so I've been stitching that beautiful flower arrangement right there and enjoying it. Well, I don't know if you can hear the lawnmowers out there. Yeah, so quite a bit of stitching in there, but it was a lot of fun. It was fun to watch it come together. I love the colors. They're so beautiful. I worked on that during Sampler September. That's one of 2 reproduction samplers I've got going on right now. And I'll show you the other one, which is, got this Annette from California bag. I love this. My Queenie bag. This is, Black Dog Sampler from Scarlet House. This is so cute. I'm stitching it in the Called For Glorianas, which are beautiful. And I'm stitching it, what am I stitching? Oh, I'm stitching this on 46 count, Extra Designs fabric. It was one of our fabrics of the month. It's kind of a light yellow. I think I've stitched on this since my last video. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of like few stitches of a color at a time. But it's really cute. It's so dainty. Love that. I look forward to picking that up again. Yeah, Black Dog Sampler. We only have one left, you guys. And my last one, I have not shown this one in a while. I love this piece, but I did not work on it. This is one of the ones I put aside for last year to focus on other things, and I think I picked it up around Christmas. And this is Winchester Mystery House by Debbie Patrick Designs. Oh my god, I love this piece. It is so cool. She is so amazing, you guys. I know this is another one that Allie from Allie's Stitching Studio has stitched, but she is now working on finally doing her back stitch. She saved it to the end, which, you know, she taught me that I should not do that. I have some back stitch to do at this point. I had to finish the stitching underneath it, and I've done a little bit in the past. I like back stitch, actually, but with these older patterns, these Debbie Patrick ones, the patterns are in black and white, and it takes some brain work to figure out where to backstitch what colors, right? She does it through, she explains through words. And so you have to make sure you're stitching the right color in the right places, and then it's black lines on top of black symbols. So, you know, it's not as simple as you would hope. But anyway, I love watching this come together. I worked on a lot of the kind of stitching I'm used to, but man, is it fun to step back when you're done. So this is how far I am. This is the full design. I absolutely love the Winchester Mystery House, in case you're new here. I live maybe, I don't know how long it would take me to drive there, about an hour, 15 minutes from where I live here, closer to where I grew up. We used to go there on field trips as a kid. And yeah, so that it's always cool to look at. I would, you know, it's slow going. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Murky from Pictures Plus. It's a Lugana, and is because it's a Lugana, it's lighter than usual Murky, which is just, I think, perfect for this piece. It's basically, it's full coverage except for the sky, so the sky will be murky and everything else will be full. This is a super tight weave, so I almost feel like I'm sewing, like it just feels like a solid fabric almost, and it's very like dense for this. You can see the back is crazy. So I don't love that, I'll be honest. That part of it is not fun. I would love it to be a little looser to give me some more room, but it is what it is. You kind of have to stitch this with 2 strands because of the blend. But anyway, I usually when I work on projects, I find like 2 weeks at a time is perfect for me. With this, I end up being good after a week. And usually when I put it down, I still want to stitch on it, and I like it that way, right? But it's just a different type of stitching different from what I usually do, which is fun. It definitely takes more thought. I worked a lot on these trees, and that's very confetti, but the way it looks afterwards is so cool. I love Debbie Patrick designs. This is the first one I've stitched, but I hope to stitch more in the future. Yeah, so those are my WIPs. Thank you for allowing me to show them all to you. All right. So, I think that brings us to purchases. Where did I put this? Over here. I like to celebrate my purchases, rather than, I don't know, give excuses. I'm just gonna celebrate them. I like to celebrate them Oprah style, which means that we call this segment haul. Around, let's see, this was end of summer. I was supposed to go to the attic for summer school. I didn't get to go, and that's just the way it works. That's just how it goes. It's a bummer, but I really hope to one day go in the future. But it did lead to kind of a moment of weakness, right? Because I had been putting all this money aside, go to the attic, go shopping, go on this trip. And then I was watching Primitive Stitcher, and she showed, I think it's Sarah Cricks, it's called, by Stacey Nash. And the only place I could find it online was Country Stitches, Brenda Gervais' website. And so I went to order it, but then I came across a bunch of other charts I wanted, and I was just like, you know what? I got some of this stitch and spending money burning a hole, and I'm gonna buy some things. Ended up Sarah Cricks was out of stock, but that's okay because I got some other charts that have been on my wish list for a long time. This wasn't, and some that were newer on my wish list, like this one. Primitive Stitcher had just finished this one, and I wanted it. It's called 4 and 20 Blackbirds Pocket Roll with Strawberry Emery. It's a little dark. But I love that, and so I bought it, and I hope to stitch it. This one was, this is an older Brenda Gervais one that's been on my wish list for a while, and I actually came across it at the attic when I was there for Stitch Nanigans, and my sister told me not to buy it. I don't know why I listened to her. Her and I have totally different tastes. Of course she didn't like it because it's super primitive looking, but this is Give Thanks by Brenda Gervais. I just sold her out. It's like a Thanksgiving piece. I think it's so cute. I've been collecting the booklets by Stacey Nash. I love them. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And Brenda Gervais had a bunch of them. I don't know if she still does. Brenda Gervais has them. Sometimes Kitten Stitcher has them. I know I've bought from her in the past. So I indulged myself and bought 3 that I wanted. I think I have them all now. This is from Hollyhock Farm. They're wrapped up like this, and then they've got several cross-stitch patterns in there, recipes, that kind of thing. That's from Hollyhock Farm. This is Home for Christmas. And this is A Simple Early Christmas. Love those. So that was my purchase from Brenda Gervais. It was a nice one. And then my LNS is Needle in a Haystack, which I highly recommend. They have a great website. They do a very good online business, thankfully. So that really, I think, has helped them through this pandemic. But I was waiting to go in person. I didn't buy any fabric in 2020 up until September when I was able to make an appointment to go in there. So I'd kind of been saving up my fabric money to go spend it there because I wanted to support my LNS. And so I bought some lovely fabrics. They have a great fabric selection. I'm not going to show you the fabrics because then we'd be doing this whole thing where I try to show it to you but it doesn't come across, and I'd have to explain it through words, which wouldn't do it justice. So I just have to see it in pieces that I stitch in the future. But Kathy, the owner, gifted me and Elena with these. She has a laser cut machine and makes all kinds of creative things. I'm sure you've seen Nicola show them. And she had these cool thread keeps that she gave. I have to bring Elena one tomorrow. But one says, I survived 2020 with needle and thread. And the other one says, 2020, the year we all stitched. So that was really sweet of her, and those are fun. But besides the fabric, I bought Sweet Summer Come Again by Blackbird Designs. I can't tell if my thing's out of focus. I love this. I love stitching strawberries. And then this one I got off eBay. I think it was Kindred Stitcher Lisa who enabled me. I hadn't seen this one before. Bittersweet Farm by Hillside Sampling. Super cute. It's a small piece, and it looks like it's got a bunch of specialty stitches in it. But I love that. So as I mentioned, it ended up that Julie McConnell had a bunch of examples from the heart charts that I had been looking for years and just been waiting for to pop up one day on eBay, and sure enough, they were just in her shop, and so I was so excited. So this is Walk Beside Me. This is the Needle Charmer. Says, needle small with magic power, charmer of the circling hour, may thy various uses be ever understood by me. I wish it rhymed at the end, but still very cute. And then this one I wanted for so long. I really want to stitch this. No, I want to stitch it all now. Meeting House. I just love that. It's so pretty. So that was exciting. And then these three, I think, were eBay. These were 3 more examples from the heart patterns that finally showed up in my searches. I think it was eBay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Leslie's Peacock Garden. You can see she has a very funky style, very colorful. And the pictures aren't great. And I usually can't find many people that stitch these, so it's kind of a surprise. This one's funky. This is one I need to show my sister because she'll be like, what the heck? Fancy Tulip. I love it. I don't buy every single chart from this designer. I truly do buy the ones I want to stitch. And then this one is my Learning Hands. I really love the house scene. I don't think I would stitch the verse. So yeah, there's that. And then I showed you my Christmas piece from Not Forgotten Farm. I bought her 2 other new Christmas patterns. I bought them as PDFs, so these are just the printouts. But this is Basket of Cheer and Marius Yuletide. Of course, when I bought them, I fully intended to stitch them for this Christmas, but that didn't happen. But they're super cute, and I look forward to stitching these. And then this one, do you guys watch Rebecca from Hedgerow Stitching? If you don't, you need to be watching her, especially if you love samplers and if you love the Scarlet Letter. This was something she showed as a unicorn a million years ago. And so it's always been on my radar, and it came up on eBay. It's called the Chimney Piece. Rebecca, if you're watching, I bought this on eBay, and I was going to come ask you if you had it because I got it for a really good price. I was like, you know what, I'm going to send this to Rebecca. Then I found that Scarlet Letter sells this chart for $10 now. I paid more than $10, not a lot more, thank God, because I'd be beating myself up. With Scarlet Letter shipping can be a little expensive, so with the shipping I paid on eBay plus the price, it about equals out. But here's the reason it's so cheap. It is just a line drawing. I'm going to show it to you because you couldn't copy it from this, but I think originally you bought it as a kit and it came with the fabric with the drawing on it, and it's all embroidery. It's not cross stitch. Right? So you have to trace that onto your fabric and fill it in. So this is a project. I'm glad I have it, and I really would love to stitch this one day. Look it up, you know, if you're curious. I think it was, Google it, because I saw someone stitching this, like stitching these flowers and stuff, and it's really cool. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? But yeah. Check out Rebecca if you don't watch her already. She's just the loveliest, I'm telling you. So yeah, that was my haul. Thank you for celebrating it with me. I think that's it, guys. I I need to do a separate video for quilting. I have been quilting quite a bit. I've been having a lot of fun with it because I have a lot to learn and that's fun. It's been a fun distraction. So I think I need to make a separate video for that because I want to kind of just like geek out. I have no one to talk to about it, so I just want to geek out on it and not worry about taking up a lot of cross stitchers' time who aren't interested. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's always great being able to talk about stitching, and I have been loving all the videos that I watch. Thank you so much to those who put them together and post them and put yourselves out there. I know it's not easy, and those of you who do it on a regular basis, even better. I love that. I wish I was like that so I could give back what you guys give to me. But until then, I just got to do it this way whenever I can get it together. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well out there. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.